I'm thinking, well, hell, I've never been shot by a rocket launcher, but I get so by that logic, rocket launchers must not be strong.
Oh, sorry. So go say it again.
I was saying I was talking to somebody who had that kind of logic. That I was trying to say in Elden Ring, River of Blood was a very strong weapon in PvP. Everybody knows that it is. It's not a secret. And this guy was trying to say it wasn't because he's never been killed by it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the frick does that is that supposed to mean? So you never been killed by it? That all of a sudden means the weapon is not a strong weapon? And basically he said, if you just don't get hit by it, I'm like, well, how does that not make it a strong weapon? If of course if you don't get hit by it, it can't do anything to you. What the frick? Like, and then and then you could just tell a bunch of people didn't agree with him because that's the most used goddamn weapon in the game for a reason. You know, you can just destroy a guy's health bar in like 2 seconds of that goddamn sword. You can't tell me that sword isn't strong. You know, talking about it's like you make one goddamn mistake in that on the fighting against that weapon, you're pretty much dead. Like that's a strong weapon if I've ever seen one. You
Yeah.
know, give me the weapon where if my opponent makes one mistake, it's a guaranteed kill for me. You know, it's like that alone just shows how flawed your logic is. You know damn well that the weapon can mess you up if it hits you. Why are you even making the argument that the weapon isn't strong if you know it will destroy you if you did get hit by it? You know, it's by that logic I was saying, by that logic, I can say, well, I never been shot by a rocket launcher, so therefore rocket launchers must not be very strong. You know, I'm like, I'm just saying, like maybe you should think about what you're saying a little bit before you say it. I was even going around making fun of this dude. I said that people were saying, man, River of Blood needs a tone down because that thing does too much damage, right? For the amount of speed that it you could swing it and the amount of damage that you do to somebody doesn't really match up, right? You can literally one shot some people, is what people were saying. And I
Yeah.
would say, oh no, I've never been killed by it. It's not a strong weapon at all. I'm like, hell, if you want to talk like that, there's a lot of stuff in Elden Ring I've never been killed by that a lot of people complain about. I don't know why they're complaining. I've never been killed by it.
Yeah.
it's
Fuck.
it's kind of stupid when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb when you think about it. It's just like what some of these things that these people say, you know. It reminds me of what Mrs. Acuna always used to say. She always used to say, "Some people's kids."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know if they understand how dumb their logic is, you know.
Probably not.
It's just like I'm not gonna go into detail what the topic was because honestly, it makes me sick. But it was a topic about some art piece this dude did, and I, for one, just in my personal opinion, think it was kind of nasty, and a lot of people also thought it was kind of nasty. So they were
Yeah.
saying they were expressing their thoughts about this picture that this guy drew, and they were saying like, how could you draw this? It's messed up. It's disgusting. And people were saying, well, yeah, it's not real though. It's not real though. I'm like, you stupid idiot. Like, by that logic, you can just draw any messed up thing that you want and just say, well, it's not real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, whatever happened to people's morality? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to morality? Come on, man. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. You know, whatever happened to just common decency and being a good person? Like, Jesus Christ, man. If it's that hard for people to be a good person, I think it's gonna be real easy to make halfway decent people seem like really good people. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Come on, man. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion on these things, like a person doing good things shouldn't like be rewarded for just doing courtesy things, right? That should just be a normal everyday thing, just to be courteous and respectful towards one another, right? That should just be normal. But no, you know, the reason why you have actually decent people going out there and helping their fellow human beings are like so appreciated by other people a lot more than they really should be is because you have so many a-holes that it's really a rare occurrence to see a decent person. You know? Just like how many people do we run across? Like, do we run across more a-holes or do we run across more people like that guy who offered us a ride when we had a pop tire? You see what I'm saying? And to make matters even worse, when somebody is lost and curious about what happened to all the good people, whatever happened to morality, they get made fun of, because everybody else is such an a-hole that it's just the norm to be an a-hole. You know, it's like it's the majority, right?
Yeah.
We all know how the minority and the majority works. Whoever
Yeah.
is the majority is always gonna make fun of the minority because they're
Yeah.
different. You know, we know well enough how that works.
Yeah.
You know, so when they have somebody who is trying to be a decent person, they're looked at as weird. You know, kind of shamed for it. It's like, what? Why? Or looked at as like, oh wow, what a decent person. Who knew that? Who knew such a person could have existed? Like, actually, I'm pretty sure we're all supposed to be decent people. Like, you know? It's just like, you know that movie? We were watching that werewolf movie. That
Yeah.
What?
This world is just so complicated.
It's overly complicated and all the wrong places. But it's just like I know what it feels like to be uh, the odd person out when it comes to common decency. You know, like I remember talking to this girl talking about she doesn't like this teacher, and I was saying I personally rather like the teacher. I think she's a nice woman, and then she said to me, the reason why she likes me is because I'm a good kid, and she said that like that was kind of a bad thing. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, it sounds like somebody needs to get their priorities straight.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell is me being a bad kid the bad thing? Shouldn't you being a bad kid be the bad thing? You know, and the reason why, I'll tell you the reason why this teacher liked me. She liked me because I treated her like a human. You know, I cared enough to know how she was doing every day. You know, after class, I would stop to have a little conversation with her. You know, see what she was going to be doing on the weekend. You know, it's like I knew she cared about us as students, so I cared about her as a teacher. You
Yeah.
know, I just gave her the same care back. And that was part of her reason why she made me one of her students in the month, because she said to me, she said that I seem like I'm the only student who actually cares about her. You know, actually has conversations with her as just person to person. You know, who actually asks her what she does on the weekend and how she's doing and how things are in her life and stuff like that. She says she doesn't get that from her other students. They don't really care. They just come in, complain about whatever, and then they leave. You know, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's all part of just being, you know, decent. You know, I mean, I'm not exactly asking to be rewarded for being just a decent person. I mean, cool. It's cool to get student of the month, but you know, I really genuinely just wanted to know how she was doing. You know, 'cause I thought she was a kind woman. You know, and I wanted to give her kindness back. You know, 'cause I respected her. You know, that's all. That's all you really gotta do, right? Just respect each other.
Yep. What was the name of that teacher?
Mrs. McCrae.
Oh yeah, I remember her. Didn't she give the closing statement or something?
Yeah, at the graduation. See, I liked her though. You know, she was a really kind woman. You know, a really kind teacher. Uh, you know. But it's like a lot of the other kids. It's so interesting. You know, it's so interesting because a lot of other kids who are complaining about her are talking about her getting on them and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, hey, I mean, maybe if you stopped talking in class and wrote your essay, she wouldn't get on you so much. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the it's the worst thing about it